no one knows. We're going down. We're going down. We're going down. We're going down. Do you dare to follow me down? Head into the unknown.
Can you guys hear that? You guys hear beeping? What is going on? Yeah, but can you hear the... You do? Nope, 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 yes. It's like, it's going crazy here. I don't know what it is. Like, it's literally going off the chart. I don't know what is going on. How's everybody doing? I'm gonna have to... What the fuck? Is it like overheating or something? No, it's not a smoke alarm or anything. I I just I don't know what it is. Slowing down. Bizarre. Hmm. Hopefully that stops because I don't know if I can concentrate with that going on. It's not super loud, but it's like very intense. Makes me think something is wrong. Maybe it's the universe telling me, shut the fuck up. But no, thank you. Hi, Wolfie and Jeannie. Great to see you here. So grateful that I'm doing this. Or yeah. Hey, Blue. Oh, catching up. That's good. Hey, Metascatter. Mary, good to see you. Hi, Addie. Hmm. The leak. Hey, Marie. Sleuth Ninjas roll out. I mean, I don't even know where to start today. I was a little bit upset last night. Let's put it that way. Um, I've known about this information for weeks, and I was asked/told not to share it, and so I didn't, because I know and accept my role in this community, in this world that we live in. I am a borderline YouTuber. I am concerned about Jack and Lily. I do not claim to be anything that I'm not. I have told people that I am a college graduate. I took criminal justice and majored in criminology back in the day. I took a semester of law, but I didn't put any of it to use in my career choice. And I've probably forgotten more than I remember about everything that I learned back then. Having said that, the one thing that I remember clear as day is that I remember thinking almost every single class, every single seminar that I would go to, Everything that I absorbed in all of that, I remember thinking to myself, "Well, this is just common sense." Very rarely goes, anywhere. There are cases that have these dark underworlds, and I'm not trying to claim that there's nothing like that out there, but in my recollection of my training, it was all very common sense and logical to get from point A to point B. And so the things that happen in true crime on YouTube, sometimes it just makes you go, why are we doing this? What is the point? And so anyways, my whole thing about what went on last night is, so if information comes out, no matter how it comes out, we are not law enforcement. We are not officially investigating the case. I am not investigating shit ever, no matter what. That's not my role here. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm asking questions. I'm looking at information that is sent to me, and I'm trying to put reason and logic to it and try to understand how it might relate to what happened with Jack and Lily. But when things kind of go sideways, I stay straight. So when things are going sideways like this, I very rarely pay attention to it. I hear about it and I'm just like, "Ye- I don't want to know because it's just going to muddy my common sense thinking." So full transparency. If you guys are here looking for answers or clarity, there is none here to give because it's all kinds of messed up. Everything that I'm going to say here today, other than what I'm going to show you, is based on my opinion only, even if something slips out about, like, my thought about any individual, that is simply my opinion. It's got absolutely nothing to do with fact. It's got nothing to do with my personal knowledge because I do not know these people. The only reason these people, any of them, are in my universe is because we're all supposed to be working together to find answers about what happened to Jack and Lily. If it wasn't for this, I wouldn't know them. I do not know them in real life. This is real life, but you know what I mean. Anyway, hope that wasn't too rambly for you. Or hey, TJ's mom. Hey, Peace Spice. Ori, good to see you. Saw Chrissy Travers dropped a bomb on DT yesterday. Hey, Gran. Roots, House Music, Snippy, Snark Pants, Allison, Carol, Betty Knight, Tense. Hey, Graham Tam. I don't think I'm missing anybody. I'm going super fast. Hey, Coach Sidewall Flowers, True Crime Junkie, great to see ya. The beeping has stopped, thankfully. That was going to drive me nuts. Hey, Kimmer and Bobby Joe. Bev, great to see ya. If I'm going to miss anybody, sorry, I just realized how far behind I am in chat. Hey, Kelly and Julie and Yvette and I mean, I don't mean to be, I'm not trying to make light of any of this. I'm just, shouldn't be my hard drive, brand new computer. Um, I mean, if you talk to me in the last 12 hours, you know that I've been heated because I don't think YouTube is the best place to, whatever. Let's just New Brunswick. Good to see you. Hey, Fatty Shack. Grateful grateful for you going live. This case is getting wilder than ever. And that's my purpose behind going live. Can we just please reel it in? Can we get back to logical common sense? Can we just do that? I really appreciate DT for having a call-in show yesterday. Let me tell you, I watched about 20 seconds of it before I clicked off and made a phone call because I was shocked, to say the least. And I want to go through it. We're going to go through it. And I hope you guys have your pens and your papers. I have mine. Because we need to take notes and we need to try to, I want you guys to make it make sense for me. Irina, sorry. Hey, Kim, her hair looks fabulous. Well, thank you. Thank you. I washed it. Jody, hey. Carrie Bailey, hi. Borderline YouTuber. I mean, I'm a borderline YouTuber. I mean, I'm a YouTuber, but I mean, I felt slightly slighted and offended. I feel like we were all called out when Chrissy said something. She alluded to there's 20,000 investigators fighting for the spot or whatever she said. We'll listen. And I felt kind of I don't know. I was a little bit offended because I must be one of the 20,000 that she was referring to, but I'm not fighting for any spot. I'm fighting for information and answers, and I felt like, well, if we're gonna be accused of trying to be investigators, then let's investigate. Let's dissect what we heard, and let's make it make sense together. And I think it's gonna be a bit of a challenge, but we're gonna do our best, you guys. We're gonna do it. Hey, Colleen Greer. I read the last 74. Gen X. Cool. You've found a new home. Hey, Ricky. Shannon, good to see ya. Sailor Moon, did I say hi? Can you say that again for those in the back that aren't paying attention? Don't even get me started. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Great to see you. No idea what's even going on anymore. Count yourself lucky. Well, respect. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm respected, or I'm thankful you respected confidential information, Shar. And here's the thing. Since last night, I have heard that police don't care about this leak. But does it make it a good fucking idea to put it out on YouTube just because the police don't care about it? What are they going to say? What are they going to say? Are they going to come out and react to the fact that potential evidence was leaked out on a YouTube channel? Are they going to come out and say that? Or are they going to say, oh, well, what can they say? Just because that's the reaction you get doesn't make a good fucking idea for professionals to do that. There's my opinion. Angry, but my opinion. Anyways, hey Missy, my face is so itchy. You don't need a diploma to handle things with dignity and respect. Lots of other YouTubers forget. I don't blame DT for any of this. Now, how he handles the information and if he's getting the pictures sent to him. And by the way, I will be showing what I have. I got permission to share what I'm going to share today. Because I'm over it. Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about it? You want to call in and talk about it? Let's see what we're talking about. Let's show the 20,000 investigators what we're talking about. Let's do it. Thanks, CJ. You bet. I'm getting more and more angry the more I talk, so let's just get through the hellos so we can get started. Hey, April, good to see ya. Cindy Spear, good to see ya. Anybody else? Max in Nova Scotia, love that you're here. I am confused. Is there something I have missed? Well, because you're asking, you probably have. Hey, Blue. Hi, Charmaine and everyone. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. My hair, literally, I brushed it. I appreciate it. Common sense ain't that common. I mean, I'm not even going into Facebook. Can't. I can't. Yeah, I would be the one seeking mental health treatment if I kept going into Facebook groups. Oh, she was, and Delene needs to apologize to a lot of people over those stalkings. You guys are reading my mail. Your stuff. The case makes me sadder by the minute. Don't follow many YouTubers, but strangely, that is where info comes out. Hey, Mike, thanks for being here. Where's Truth? Great to see you. So this is the supposed PI who is leaking crap? Yes, with the lawyer in chat. Um, hey, Grinch. Uh, I wish I could say that. I've tried before. I'm not doing it. Thank you for being here. I don't know what to. Yes, they are. I'm not here to call anybody out. I am here to listen to the words that came out of her mouth and go through it with you guys and dissect it. And I'm hoping you guys can make it make sense. Because I just can't. Literally, you guys just, and maybe she was nervous. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. But the f- the fact is, the words, the story, if you listen to it, it doesn't make sense. And then we're going to look at the stuff that was talked about. So, should we start? I do know that, I do know that DT backtracked a little bit on what Malaya is doing in the facility, and that's because of privacy concerns. I don't know that it was Malaya that released that information or that she knew. However, I think DT realized that he probably shouldn't have said as much as he said. So it's unfortunate, but he did backtrack. And I think that was probably the only thing he could do about it at that point. Yeah, Addie, I know about that. Again, nothing, uh, nothing serious, and I'll just say nothing out of the norm. Like if you knew, you'd be like, ah, I see. So, anyways, yeah, Bev, it might have been stated in chat and Facebook groups before, but because, and it's a YouTuber, whatever. So you can basically call DT a trusted source of Daniels, correct? And Durwood and Janie. So, um, okay. And okay, where's truth? And everybody, you all got so many great comments. Peace Spice, very no, me. Um, I didn't. I'm not the one that said that, but that is correct. Um, so Peace Spice, read the screen. Anyways, the lawyer too. What the heck is going on? You can't trust anyone helping out in this case. They are botching it. You can't botch something that you're not officially doing. Okay, they're not. They're no. They're not. If they're investigating Jack and Lily's disappearance, they're doing it on a private level. So they're not botching anything. The only way that we can botch the investigation is by leaking information that could be relevant. That's the only way. So that ship is sailed. Apparently, the police don't care. That's their story. So it is safe to say that it's not related to the case. So I'm not here to question DT. He was good enough to do a call-in show, and that's what we're talking about here today. Okay, I'm not questioning DT why he's doing what he's doing. It's not relevant to what we're doing here today. Okay, no offense. I cannot find. Is it this one? No. Is it this one? Oh, it's this one. This one. All right. Share audio. So it's basically just. I think she was her third year. I could be wrong. Whatever. So get your pens and your papers, and I'm going to stop it in a few minutes, and we're going to talk about what we've heard, okay? Addie, can you clarify if the RCMP were able to clearly state B. Wong info was invalid, or they were not able to validate there's a clear difference just because they were not able to validate? If they can't corroborate something, then they can't use it in their investigation, right? The when you, um when you invalidate something, you determine it has no evidentiary value to it. That's a different thing than saying you can't corroborate something, but both have the same outcome. They can't use it as part of their investigation, right? And I mean, 2 different things, you're right, but same outcome. So, there's 2 things you're right, but same outcome. Full credit goes to DT and his call-in show last night. I think I've got it right about where I want it and his call-in show to start with. So I'm gonna mute myself, get rid of myself, and then we're gonna listen. You guys take notes. Remember, take. So I'm gonna mute myself, get rid of myself, and then we're gonna listen. You guys take notes. Remember, take. So I'm gonna mute myself, get rid of myself.
Sending me that, I would really be interested in seeing that because I'm not familiar with that that
Are you
finding.
talking
Sending me
about
that, I would really
the
be
bloody
interested in
sweater
seeing
that
because
was wrapped in
I'm
a
not
towel?
familiar with that. Yeah, I've never heard that.
Yeah, that
finding.
was outside the PDMH search area, actually.
Okay.
Was actually
Yeah, I've
notified.
never heard that.
Yeah, that was outside the PDMH search area, actually.
Okay.
Was actually
Yeah, I've
notified.
never heard that.
Yeah, that was outside the PDMH search area, actually. Was actually
Yeah, I've
notified.
never heard that.
Yeah, that was outside the PDMH search area, actually. Was actually notified. Yeah, that was outside the PDMH search area, actually. Was actually notified. Yeah, that was. To PBMH, but they didn't care to go and collect it.
Had already searched and covered tremendously. In fact, I think somebody had commented about the sheer amount of pink ribbons that were out there. Now, I'm not familiar with anything underneath the cliff. And this picture, if you don't mind sending me that, I would really be interested in seeing that because I'm not familiar with that that
Are you
finding.
talking about the bloody sweater that was wrapped in a towel?
Yeah, I've never heard that before.
Yeah, that was outside the PBMH search area, actually.
Okay.
Was actually notified to PBMH, but they didn't care to go and collect it. They said that it was of no value to them as far as they knew. So that's why we had actually sent somebody to go collect it ourselves to submit it, because I don't understand under what authority any kind of anything around there wouldn't be something to be looked at.
I don't disagree with you. I think it should have been. I didn't know there was blood on it too. That's interesting.
Well, I can't guarantee you it's blood, but it certainly looked like blood.
Understood. Yeah, if you have information or images of that, if you don't mind sending it to my email at drunkturkeyshow@gmail.com, I'd love to look at it.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
I'm not familiar with that. And my goal has always been to be accurate, as much as accurate as I possibly can. That's why even when, like, for instance, things that have come out that maybe don't make, certain people look in the best light, like Daniel, I'm not hidden from those things. I've been the one that have broken many of the things that um, that don't look good, and that's because of what he's told me. And at the end of the day, I just kind of think that RCMP's investigation is pretty thorough. But if there's more to it, I'd be definitely interested. Uh, how far outside of this? I'm not familiar. Where was this found? Was it a child's sweater?
No, it was a woman's sweater, and it was,
Okay.
I believe, if I remember correctly, it was a gray type sweater, like a sweatshirt sweater type with a cheetah print.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
They never mentioned anything about that, which is fine. We've already submitted it. Major crimes came right away. They seemed interested, so that was great. But I wonder about the police's work with this, just to an extent. I mean, I respect them. I love them. I appreciate them. I work with them often. But my question is that, so there was a witness that has come forward that actually states being on Lansdowne Station Road Lansdowne Road, and they actually were stopped by two vehicles. One was identified as Alvin McKenzie, and the other, one of the occupants of the second vehicle, was named as Jenna Jowdry. So when this witness went to the police with the information, they didn't really do anything about it. But I'm just wondering, given the fact that they pulled him over in order to check this evidence that they found at 10:45 in the morning on May 2nd, and yet that item was not reported as found until after 3:21 by a girl named Emily Ogley.
What the heck? Let me go back because people are already, whoa, what was that? And I get it. It's like, what did she say? She said something about,
So why didn't they report these items?
she said something about how did she put it, guys? Blood covered sweater? Is that it? Wrapped in a towel? Okay. Here we go. Wrapped in a towel, yes. Okay. So I happen to know where it was found. I know the circumstances in how it was found. The people that found it was not in the Please Bring Me Home search area because whatever, I'm not even going to tell you why. But anyways, it was on Lansdowne Road. Further up from, further up from Earl and Ron's place. So I'm going to show you on the map. Oh, wrong screen. Does it zoom in for you guys? Yeah. Where this crossing is. So Earl and Ron are down here, whatever. So here's a crossing, and it was found in this general area here, just after the crossing. And the exact-ish, love that, is right here. Okay. This is the exact spot. So When it was found down in a ditch where it was found, the searchers, like many other groups did when they found something, they used a stick to open it up, take their photos, report it to Please Bring Me Home. Please, it was outside of the search area, so Please Bring Me Home ended up going back out there after a while. They didn't come right away. After a while, they went out there. They took the coordinates, they did what they do. They did. And this is where I believe we'll get to it in DT's video that it was said that they didn't do their thing with it that day. They didn't want anything to do with it. That's not accurate. They did. They did the same thing that they did with everything else. The police did not. They elected to not collect it. But let's have a look and see what we're actually talking about. And people are going to be, I'm about to ruffle feathers. I got to remove this one. This is how it was found. That's what it looked like. They opened it up with a stick. So obviously they took a photo of it before they touched it. They opened it up with a stick. And then, forgive me, CJ, this isn't me trying to like string you along. This is me tripping through YouTube. I'm still not used to doing this shit. So be patient. If you can't be patient, it'll be on every replay later. Yes, and Daphne did show this blanket earlier from a screenshot. It was on a phone. Okay. So, and here we go. There you go. That's what it was. That looks to me like a nice, it's not a sweater, it's like a top. It's almost a dress top. I'm not going to zoom it in. You guys are allowed to take a screenshot, zoom it in all you want. My watermark's not on it. This is not my property. Could be related, might not be related. And from what I understand, it is outside of the original search area too. So you guys can take what you want from that, but I don't see anything here covered in blood. I see potential spots of maybe a dried brownish red substance, and law enforcement do not say it looks like blood, not to the public anyway. They'll do a presumptive test, but they send it in and they test it before they call it blood. So that's what we're looking at. Okay. No, Please Bring Me Home did not find this. Somebody else found it and called in Please Bring Me Home, and it was on the day of the Please Bring Me Home search. Oh boy, Ricky, take it, zoom in. But this is what it is. This is what it looks like. This is what we're talking about. Okay. And then just for good measure, as we get into this next part of what Chrissy had to say, the t-shirt that was found, and this is the part that we really need to pay attention to and make it make sense for me. If not even for yourselves, try to do your best to make it make sense for me about this shirt. Because I do have a picture of the shirt. Where is it? Oh, for Pete's sake. I apologize, CJ. Don't kill me. I forgot to. It didn't download. Give me a second. Give me a second. Because I get it, and then I don't want to. I don't want to open my Facebook on screen because I'm such a dipstick. I'll open it up and then I'll dox somebody, so I don't want to do that. But here's the t-shirt with blood on it. I don't see any blood. That t-shirt doesn't look to me like anything Lilly would wear. I don't think she was into baseball, but it also looks way too big to belong to Lilly. It also looks like it's been sun bleached. So this is what we're talking about, you guys. When we get into the rest of DT stuff, this is what we're talking about. So please get your pens and papers and help me make this next part make sense about the witnesses, where they came from, what cars they were in, and when exactly did they run out of the bush and flag who down, and just help me. I'm begging you, help me. I apologize. Muting myself. Oh, wait. I need to add this first. And then I need to get rid of myself. And then I need to mute myself. And then I'll hit play. Calm down.
Was found at 10:45 in the morning and head in the other direction rather than go to the house and report it. Why did nobody ever hear about it till late in the afternoon?
But if there's more to it, I'd be definitely interested. Uh, how far outside of this? I'm not familiar. Where was this found? Was it a child's sweater?
No, it was a woman's sweater, and it was,
Okay.
I believe, if I remember correctly, it was a gray type sweater, like a sweatshirt sweater type with a cheetah print.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
They never mentioned anything about that, which is fine. We've already submitted it. Major crimes came right away. They seemed interested, so that was great. But I wonder about the police's work with this just to an extent. I mean, I respect them. I love them. I appreciate them. I work with them often. But my question is that, so there was a witness that has come forward that actually states being on Lansdowne Station Road Lansdowne Road, and they actually were stopped by two vehicles. One was identified as Alvin McKenzie, and the other person, one of the occupants of the second vehicle, was named as Jenna Jowdry. So when this witness went to the police with the
Okay, we heard that, right? They were in vehicles. They were in two separate vehicles. Did you catch that? Two separate vehicles. Are you taking notes? Please. Let's continue.
information, they didn't really do anything about it. But I'm just wondering, given the fact that they pulled him over in order to check this evidence that they found at 10:45 in the morning on May 2nd, and yet that item was not reported as found until after 3:21 by a girl named Emily Ogley. So why didn't they report these items found at 10:45 in the morning and head in the other direction rather than go to the house and report it? Why did nobody ever hear about it till late in the afternoon?
I don't know. Like I said, this is the first time I've heard about any of this.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that's been distorted between all this project obstruction that has been going on between these camps. And it is quite frustrating trying to run an investigation when you have 20,000 other investigators competing for that spot. So,
Right.
you
So,
know,
so run that by me again. Somebody got pulled. Mackenzie. Which Mackenzie got pulled over?
no, it wasn't a Mackenzie that got pulled over. It was our witness.
Okay.
Was driving down the road heading to a fishing spot, I believe, and happened to notice these people on the side of the road.
Mhm.
Slowed down. They flagged them down.
Didn't she just say that Alvin was in a silver car and Jenna was in another car hanging out the back? Didn't she just say that? I'm sure I've watched it 7 times. She said that, and I'm eh, help me. Let's continue.
The girl said, "We found a shirt." He's seen her run out of the bushes towards the vehicle. And then she said, "Oh, we found a shirt down here," and told them that they were family from Truro and they were out looking for the missing kids. Well, the witness had never heard of any missing kids or anything like that at that point. So
Mhm.
was curious, went and looked at the shirt that was placed ever so nicely over the top of a little pine tree. And then those guys ended up departing ways. But when they left in the complete opposite direction of the house on Gerlach.
Mm.
And then later on, I'm checking the court documents, finding out that Emily Oakley reported finding these items, and her timestamp on her photo for those items was at 3:21 p.m. But those items were discovered at 10:45 a.m. We have a witness statement.
Gotcha.
So what is, I don't understand that.
I don't either. That's interesting. I mean, at 10:45 a.m., that's super early.
Jeannie, no, this is Chrissy. Daleen was in the chat. Daleen told me today that it was a last minute thing, that they noticed that DT was having a call-in show and they thought it would be a good idea to make the call. Does anybody want to listen to that again? Do we need to listen to that again? Alvin and Jenna were planting evidence. How? If they were in a car? And how if they're from Truro? It's okay. Addie, stay with me. Stay with me. We're going to listen to it again, I think. Tell me like I'm 5 years old. I can't. I can't. I'm trying. I I can't. Let on a sweater or switch. Rewind, Blue Jay. No, no. I showed it. I showed the actual shirt. So I don't. uh, I'm speechless. We're gonna keep listening until it's clear we don't have that kind of fucking time, Sky Painter. Okay, we're gonna. How and why are my questions? You guys, I told you I don't have the answers. You guys have to tell me because I don't get it. I don't get it. Let's listen again. I'm gonna go back because now you've seen the pictures. I'm gonna go back and we're gonna listen to the whole thing again. I apologize, but that's what we're here for. You guys are gonna make it make sense. You guys are gonna make it make sense. Okay.
Including a blanket, I believe, and that the RCMP comment to them was that they were not related, and that was referencing the please bring me home search. I believe it was the blanket, but I don't. It doesn't sound like anything has come up since the initial search of any relevance to the case, which can be concerning. But I also think that when I looked at where majority of the search was happening, it seemed like they were covering a lot of the same spots that ground and search and rescue team had already searched and covered tremendously. In fact, I think somebody had commented about the sheer amount of pink ribbons that were out there. Now, I'm not familiar with anything underneath the cliff. And this picture, if you don't mind sending me that, I would really be interested in seeing that because I'm not familiar with that
Are you
finding.
talking about the bloody sweater that was wrapped in a towel?
Yeah, I've never heard that before.
Yeah, that was outside the PBMH search area, actually.
Okay.
Was actually notified to PBMH, but they didn't care to go and collect it. They said that it was of no value to them as far as they knew. So that's why we had actually sent somebody to go collect it ourselves to submit it, because I don't understand under what authority any kind of anything around there wouldn't be something to be looked at.
I don't disagree with you. I think it should have been. I didn't know there was blood on it too. That's interesting.
Well, I can't guarantee you it's blood, but it certainly looked like blood.
Understood. Yeah, if you have information or images of that, if you don't mind sending it to my email at drunkturkeyshow@gmail.com, I'd love to look at it.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
I'm not familiar with that, and my goal has always been to be accurate, as much as accurate as I possibly can. That's why even when, like, for instance, things that have come out that maybe don't make certain people look in the best light, like Daniel, I'm not hidden from those things. I've been the one that have broken many of the things um, that he that don't look good, and that's because of what he's told me. And At the end of the day, I just kind of think that RCMP's investigation is pretty thorough. But if there's more to it, I'd be definitely interested. Uh, how far outside of this? I'm not familiar. Where was this found? Was it a child's sweater?
No, it was a woman's sweater, and it was,
Okay.
I believe, if I remember correctly, it was a a gray type sweater, like a sweatshirt sweater type with a cheetah print.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
They never mentioned anything about that, which is fine. We've already submitted it. Major crimes came right away. They seemed interested, so that was great. But I wonder about the police's work with this just to an extent. I mean, I respect them. I love them. I appreciate them. I work with them often. But my question is that so there was a witness that has come forward that actually states being on Lansdowne Station Road Lansdowne Road, and they actually were stopped by two vehicles. One was identified as Elvin McKenzie, and the other, one of the occupants of the second vehicle was named as Jenna Jowdry. So when this witness went to the police with the information, they didn't really do anything about it. But I'm just wondering, given the fact that they pulled him over in order to check this evidence that they found at 10:45 in the morning on May 2nd, and yet that item was not reported as found until after 3:21 by a girl named Emily Ogley. So why didn't they report these items found at 10:45 in the morning and head in the other direction rather than
Why are we timing Kent out? What is going on? Don't be doing that. Don't be doing that. We don't delete comments and we don't time people out unless they're ignorant. This information that Kent is giving is about questions that I've been asked and I don't have the answers to. So whoever is doing that, stop it. You don't time anybody out unless they're ignorant, and you don't delete comments unless they're ignorant. Yeah, no, nobody be doing that. He blocked multiple people. That's what's happening. Okay. Well, whatever. I'm telling everybody we don't block here and we don't time out here. We don't delete comments unless it is ignorant or rude. Okay. We're going to continue. Whoever did that, unblock him or, unhide him, whatever. Because I do not have the answers to those questions. I did at one point, but I let it leave my mind.
go to the house and report it?
Hmm.
Why did nobody ever hear about it till late in the afternoon?
I don't know. Like I said, this is the first time I've heard about any of this.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that's been distorted between all this project obstruction that has been going on between these camps. And it is quite frustrating trying to run an investigation when you have 20,000 other investigators competing for that spot. So,
Right.
you
So
know,
so run that by me again. Somebody got pulled. Mackenzie? Which Mackenzie got pulled over?
no, it wasn't a Mackenzie that got pulled over. It was our witness
Okay.
was driving down the road heading to a fishing spot, I believe, and happened to notice these people on the side of the road.
Mhm.
Slowed down, they flagged them down. The girl said, "We found a shirt." He's seen her run out of the bushes towards the vehicle. And then she said, "Oh, we found a shirt down here," and told them that they were family from Truro and they were out looking for the missing kids. Well, the witness had never heard of any missing kids or anything like that at that point. So
Mhm.
was curious, went and looked at the shirt that was placed ever so nicely over the top of a little pine tree. And then those guys ended up departing ways. But when they left in the complete opposite direction of the house on Gerlach.
Hmm.
And then later on, I'm checking the court documents, finding out that Emily Ogley reported finding these items, and her timestamp on her photo for those items was at 3:21 p.m. But those items were discovered at 10:45 a.m. We have a misstatement.
Gotcha.
So I don't understand that,
I don't either. That's interesting. I mean, at 10:45 a.m., that's super early.
right?
That's like police didn't even arrive there. They just arrived at Gerlach Road for like, I don't know, like 12 minutes already at that point. I think they got there at 10:27.
Precisely.
And so, you know, now if it was, I guess, a McKenzie, I mean, where did that name come from? I know you mentioned it.
Because unlike the police, I actually made sure that my team supplied this witness with a complete photo lineup of anybody and everybody we could compile that could
Okay.
possibly be related to the case. And after numerous selections, they did finally pick out Alvin McKenzie as one of the drivers of a silver Civic 4-door, and Jenna Jowdry was hanging out the back of a dark colored sedan.
Okay.
They were confidently identified by a very valid source.
And has this source spoken to law enforcement?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything that I'm stating to you has been forwarded to law enforcement at the time that all these claims were made, but nothing's been followed up and everything's just been kind of lost in the mail.
Gotcha. And where was and how far away was this from Gerlach Road that
Well,
this interaction occurred?
Sorry, not to cut you off. Sorry, hon.
It's okay.
Um, you know where the t-shirt was found along with the blanket?
I don't. I'm not. I know where one blanket was found, just the
Like
one
a
that was
piece
in
of the blanket,
question.
sorry, on the tree?
Yeah, yeah. The one on the tree, I'm
And
familiar
so,
with. Yeah, I'm familiar with that one was found. Uh-huh.
so that's right where it was.
Okay.
I can send you the logistics to all of that as well.
That'd be great. Yeah, I'd like to look at that. Um, because I know that the blanket was found just shortly before 4 o'clock. By I believe it was family members of Malaya's.
Correct. Emily Oakley and I believe Haley.
Hmm.
Emily Oakley was the girlfriend to Hayden. She was staying with Patty and had actually come to the search with Patty
Hmm.
from Toronto.
So did Haley also see this sweater with potential blood on it?
I don't believe so. That was collected independently. So what happened was is PPMH had different search teams designated to whatever areas. Pardon me.
Okay.
And there was a couple participants who weren't able to make the terrain. So they just kind of scouted off on their own. And they ended up coming across it, taking pictures, phoning it in, and then nobody wanted to do anything with it. But when it was brought to our attention, I thought, well, no, it's in that area. So I think, it's worth having a look at, just to have a look at least.
Hmm.
And then when it was opened up and looked at, it was like, okay, that might be blood. So how about we just send it in?
Right. Well, I would assume this is a big assumption, but I would assume that it would have been tested, and I know that they've gotten toothbrushes or some sort of stuff from Jack and Lily to match for DNA. So there should be a easy way to determine whether or not that was blood, that it belonged to them or not.
See, now to me, this is exactly how the telephone game gets started. If Haley and Emily were searching together and they found the piece of blanket, how did one see the shirt and not the other? We didn't hear here that Haley was searching with Emily. We've heard Emily's name, that she reported this T-shirt at 3 whatever in the afternoon. Nothing about searching with Haley whatsoever. Um, I've said no timing out many times. Many times. Ignorant people, spammers, they get timed out. Nobody else needs to get timed out. I have no idea, you guys. I went in to the back to see where I could find stuff like that. I have no idea. No idea how to do it. I've talked to Kent. Um, like, sorry, I don't know that it was intentional. Marie, that's not information that I'm willing to share. You put it in chat and that's good enough. But I'm not here to mention any innocent names. It just causes unfair accusations and speculation. Kent wasn't being rude. Knock it off. Like, I will end it right here. Kent wasn't being rude. He was answering a question. He was clarifying a question. That's it. He was timed out by accident. That's it. That's all it was. Let's move on. I've talked to Kent. While DT was playing. It's done. Okay? Absolutely. I'm sure Belinda will, but I told her that I am not going to do that here. That's not what I'm being here for. That's not what I'm here for. So it's just adding more people who are going to be thrown into the wolf's den of online scrutiny. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, if Kent is watching, I know that he was not impressed with being timed out, but I'm sure it was a mistake because he was not being rude, and Wolfie knows the difference. So I'm sure it was just a mistake. So did any of that make sense to any of you? Like I said, I was reading comments and it's just not, it doesn't really jive. None of it jives because first we heard Alvin and Jenna were in two separate vehicles, and then all of a sudden they flagged down this witness of theirs that was going fishing to say, we found this blanket, we found this blanket. And then they started walking away from 1407 Gerlach, which is, if it was 10:45, they probably would continue searching instead of going right back to the property. If that's all true, why they didn't turn it in to police or whatever, I don't know. Maybe because the t-shirt is too big to be Lily's. Maybe they told the RCMP, I don't know. I know that there's a lot of talk about, like, the last few hours about the RCMP losing evidence, and I would love to know where that came from, what evidence you're referring to, and how you would know, because the RCMP doesn't tell shit like that. So I don't know what your source is, whoever is saying that, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm a little heated over all of this because it doesn't make sense. Period. There's no making sense of any of this shit. I don't want to have to re-listen to it again. We're going to continue listening to it, but yeah, we will go through your comments and have a conversation. There he is right there. He wasn't being rude. He apologized to me. You weren't. It was a mistake. It's over now. And um if you can please retype your connection to Jenna Kent. If I've been asked once, I've been asked 100 times. And I didn't want to go back to our live stream where you talked about it. I know you told Sunny and I about it, and I don't remember. So if you could retype that would be great. Kent also says the sweatshirt was found the day of the Please Bring Me Home search. The other shirt was on May 2nd. The pink t-shirt was May 2nd, and she's not claiming anything otherwise. It's the day the kids went missing. Please Bring Me Home search, that day is when how did she put it? The bloody sweater wrapped in a towel. That's how she put it. But I showed it to you guys. It is far from that. Was found on the day of the Please Bring Me Home search. My very first time ever on YouTube that I had to block someone. Mike was right from the get-go. Two searches merged into one scenario. In my opinion, that Chrissy Travers is lumping too many things together quickly, and so yeah, that's why we're going to discuss it and break it down. I can't think of a useful, meaningful way to break down this information. Because once you get to the gap where they're in their separate vehicles to skip ahead where they're coming out of the bush flagging their witness down, we found a t-shirt. I don't get it. When did they park their cars and how do they know that? And what the fuck? What the ever loving heck are you talking about? But let's continue. Uh, I remember reading somewhere that Emily, Hayden, and Haley was after 3, like the blanket was found, etc. Maybe that's not what she's saying. Not at all. Not at all. And is Emily Ogilvy? Because she said first and last name. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Chrissy's info is confusing, but maybe she's trying to shake things up because the case has slowed down from what we can see. So, I don't even know what came out the day before yesterday. What information did you guys learn from DT the day before yesterday? That Malaya might be struggling with her mental health? So, if we're going to release a photo that potentially could be Malaya's blood-soaked sweater wrapped in a towel without showing the picture, but we're going to say that, how would that affect somebody with an already fragile mental state? I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but the motive doesn't look good to me. It doesn't look professional to me. It doesn't look ethical to me. That would be even more unprofessional to make shit up to stir the pot. Especially when we're claiming to be investigating in an official capacity using our credentials as a license to do this stuff. Like I said at the beginning, it's my opinion, my take on it. I'm entitled to it as a YouTuber. Yes, Daniel he has stepped out of social media. Radio silent. Police can't arrest you when you're in the hospital, just saying. Sure they can. They absolutely can. What? Of course they can. They absolutely can. And have. And will. I agree, Charmaine, and name dropping a lawyer. Did she do? Oh, they did that at the very beginning? Yeah. Surely you would lose your investigator license. Yeah. That would be devastating if that happened. Ooh. At this point, all this stuff is confusing me. Same. Came in last, so I don't know what's going on. Probably for the best. Absolutely. She's probably on a hold. I don't know. I wasn't the one that broke the story. Go wait in the car, Joe. No, they can't if you're mental. Yes, they can, Rena. Yes, they can. They can detain you, but you will be detained on the mental health ward. You can still be detained. You can still be arrested. They don't have to take you into custody as long as you're detained. Yes, they can. And they have. I didn't say she made anything up. I said shake up the case, as in put new information. But then anyone can call. I say they are anyone. But then anyone can call and say they are anyone. What a shit show. Temporary license for Nova Scotia could be revoked. Does she have a temporary license for Nova Scotia? I don't know. I know that she is from Alberta. Like, that's all I don't know anything about her. Okay. So Chrissy is a PI and Deline is a lawyer. How can both of these people be out in the public like this all over social media talking and involving themselves in this case? Not to mention working for Belinda. Like, I don't know. I've wondered a time or two if there's any kind of conflict of interest there. I don't know. I don't know. Makes you wonder you're if you're representing somebody in a family court case, but you also have like a vested interest in a missing persons act investigation. Like I don't know. And I know I see like a lot of you are mentioning it. I don't know. I don't know. Daleen has a temporary pass. It's a yeah, she does. I mean, I hope he's okay. I hope he's okay. Focus. I have many of those. And she only has to be able to come over and assist with family court stuff in regards to temporary guardianship, not criminal investigations. And this isn't a criminal investigation. The Major Crimes has made that clear to all of us that it's a Missing Persons Act investigation. So, and what was Dalene's reaction to this? Did we catch any of the chat? It was Dalene's idea. Dalene was in chat and she was supportive. And yes, I have talked briefly to Dalene today. Dalene said they put Chrissy on the payroll and Chrissy has access to records and documents. Of what? Family court case that Dalene has been working on? Because anything else would be outside of that capacity. It's a good thing you don't, Charmaine. Don't what? Yes, correct. Dalene stated she had a temporary license. It's not a temporary license, just her ability to practice in other provinces. She's got, I think she said, 100 days a year, and that's completely legitimate. That's not even a thing. So from what I understand, everything that she was doing for Belinda with the filings and stuff, the paperwork is done. It's just a matter of she'll have to come back onto the case and appear in court when required. Everything else, Dalene has fulfilled her duty with the court filings and stuff, with the papers. Now, I believe Belinda has to go and do it herself to file it. I don't quote me. I don't know anything. That's just what I understand. Brutal, Joe. It's terrible. Gina says, for someone who's an attorney, she has an awful lot of time. She's constantly posting on Facebook and YouTube. Yeah. Yes, we're all praying for your piggy, Joe. It's devastating. I'm so sorry for you. Thank me for what? I'm literally inside right now. I am going through hell. because I hate this shit. I hate it. I am a very much live and let live. But this to me crossed the line last night. I don't think it was right. Just because we don't think the cops will mind doesn't make it a good fucking idea. And in my opinion, a lawyer and a private investigator should know better. Just my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. So. She was probably listening intently just to make sure that all the information got out correctly, and that's given her the benefit of the doubt. It's the best I can do. Because I am heated. I don't know who said what, but yes, I know Daleen, you guys. That wasn't Daleen on the call. It wasn't. It was Chrissy. Why is it upsetting this info has come out? So the big picture for me, Johnny, okay? So when this first happened and I got the pictures and I know the story and I got the information, it was decided that the RCMP Major Crimes took this into evidence to have it tested. We haven't heard back, and the public hasn't even heard back about the blanket, which has been gone for months. So why we think that we're, as the public, or even the private investigator, or even the lawyer representing Belinda in a family court matter, is entitled to any information regarding any evidence is beyond me. But now, 2.5 weeks after it was found and submitted into evidence, now we're so impatient that we're going to go onto a YouTube call-in show and leak the information. And not just that, say it was the blood-soaked sweater wrapped in a towel. I showed the sweater. It's not blood-soaked. It was sensationalism at its best, honestly. And to me, the optics of it are terrible because it looks to me like they're trying to kick somebody while they're down, while at their most vulnerable, to try to make them crack. My take, my opinion. I'm telling you that it was Chrissy. It was that is not Daleen. Jeannie, no. It is their theory together. It's their evidence that she's talking about, but that wasn't Daleen. Daleen was in the chat. I've talked to Daleen today, and I know you have too. That wasn't Daleen on the call. Unless they did a three-way? Play that clip alongside your live with Daleen was on it. I could. I didn't know that it was even a thing that we were even questioning. And why would I mean, can we just can you I don't know what to say to you guys. I don't know what to say to you guys. Like, I know you've talked to Daleen. You know her voice. That's not Daleen. Holy fuck. I agree with Jeannie. It was Daleen. It's Daleen. It's gonna make my head explode. I mean, I can pull up Daleen's live and play her voice, but I would rather do this right now. And if it's still a question later. The blanket with the sweater and rug was not found where Chrissy said it was, and how can PI know it was a cluster of boot prints? It's in the document, for crying out loud. Yeah. Let's keep listening because I have no idea. about lost, like, I haven't, I don't know how they would know. Because it's a missing persons act investigation. Daleen is working in a family court matter capacity. The Make it make sense. I'm not gonna pull up her voice, end of story. I mean, believe me or don't believe me, at the end of this, maybe I'll pull up her voice, but I don't care. Like, Daleen was in the chat, actively chatting while Chrissy was talking. Ugh. Unless they swapped profiles and she got a fucking voice changer. Sorry. Whatever. That's right. We're gonna continue.
And that would also determine whether or not the blood was related to somebody of theirs. Now that doesn't mean Daniel, obviously. So if Daniel cut himself, or
Chrissy was hired on by Daleen's law firm, but she is working in a pro bono capacity.
something happened to Daniel and he bled on something, he himself told me they have never asked for his DNA. He believes they have his DNA because he's drinking cups and things like that during interrogations and stuff like that, but they've never swabbed him himself. But if it was like Malaya's, if it was somebody else who was related to them, there would be some sort of like somewhat of a match. So it's interesting. I wonder about it. I had heard that they had found other items. Now, I was familiar with the sweater. I was not familiar with it being any possible blood on it. I was familiar with, I think, a shirt, another piece of blanket, a separate pink blanket that wasn't apparently associated with anything, and some bottled water bottles and some other things that were in that area. Or, well, let me rephrase that were unknown where they were found. When Daniel told me about those items, he told me that those items, when they showed him pictures of it, they were all separate. So he doesn't know if they were found together, found separate, or any of those things. And in the RCMP documents, they kind of loosely mentioned some of those items as not being relevant. But if there's blood on it, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's not confirmed yet. It looks suspicious to me. And you know what? When it was called into the RCMPs to come and look at it, they actually made it there in due time, I think 10, 15 minutes. Like they wanted their hands on it. So
Oh yeah.
I thought that was interesting that, it wasn't handed in by other people on these searches, but it could be valid, and I don't know why it wouldn't have been collected.
That's interesting why it wouldn't have been collected so early on. But yeah, no, I don't understand why it wouldn't have been either if they took all the way till 3 o'clock. That's wild. But
Yeah, it is. It's pretty sad. Like, that's how much information has been lost in transition here. It's like, things that should have been said or done have not been. Instead, we've been worried about other things that are just obstructing it all. And it's getting tough. Like, I would love to be able to ask Alvin, why he was on that road, or even talk to Jenna and find out, why she didn't report it. But Daniel's camp has been against me since day one, so I get nowhere with that. I'd love it if you could ask.
yeah, no, I already I am. Trust me. So if you send me the names, Alvin is one of them, right? You said
Yes.
Alvin. You know what? I'll ask right now. I don't know if I'll get an answer right now, but I'll ask. I sent out the question there. I know that I've talked to Janie and I've talked to Daniel, and both of them have said that they're kind of stepping away. Also, they've been attacked a lot, and so one of the things that they have been saying beforehand is that they've noticed that Malaya does get attacked, but not as much as them, and they realize it's because they talk so much to social media, and so they basically told me that they're stepping away because of that. So we'll see if they respond to me. But that's interesting. I was not aware of that. And so were you part of the recent search?
Uh, have not been a part of the PBMH for about a month and a half, 2 months now.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
Signed from there actually earlier on in the case.
Gotcha.
I'm working actually under Daleen Thomas, the law firm.
Understood.
So
Understood.
yeah, so I've been looking into it all along. I just I usually try to keep a low profile, but I'm so tired of people missing such important, critical aspects of this case that I finally decided that, you know what, I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah. What do you think about the boot prints?
Uh, I don't know. In my experience looking for missing people, I mean, a boot print around the place where they went missing, maybe, but a boot print that far away and just a boot print when it's two children, I don't know. I find that skeptical.
RCMP indicated there were a cluster of boot prints, two different sizes, both children. One of them matched the boots that were purchased by Malaya in March with the down to the size on the thread pattern of the boot print, saying 29. And that they also indicated that they believed it was out of the way for other kids to have been walking in that area.
Okay. That I would suggest maybe looking more into, but I wasn't aware of other boot prints that match
Yeah.
their exact sizes. I was told that the bigger size of boot would have been way too big for Lily. So I'll
Mm.
that.
No, so the documents indicate that there was a 29, and in fact, they thought it was too small. So
Oh,
they went and spoke with Malaya, and Malaya said that Lily wore a size 13, and it was said size 29, which correlated with size 11. And so they ended up going and getting Malaya's financial records, and they find a purchase of these boots in March. And so when they went and they compared the SKU number with the store, they were able to determine the boots, and they were the same boot pattern that had the number on the bottom. And what they found out was that Malaya had actually bought size 11 with the number 29 on the boot tread on the bottom end of it, which somewhat match almost everything that's I'm hearing. And they said cluster. Now I know that there could be a language barrier, with Canada and United States, but a cluster to me kind of sounds like a group of
mhm.
you know what I mean? It doesn't sound like just one group of of boot prints. It sounds like a group of boot prints. So like you might have a few boot prints here in mud, and then a dry spot, and then mud, and then another group of boot prints, and then dry spot and mud, and that's what creates the cluster of these boot prints. But that's just my interpretation of it. It could have been just one, but they do mention two sizes, two small sizes that children would wear, and one of them matched Lily size down to the tread pattern also from the boot. So to me, I like, as much as like, a lot of people want to look like towards Daniel or Malaya and what they were doing the night before. Those boot prints kind of throw a wrench into that. And that's one of the main reasons why I believe that they wandered off more than anything is the boot prints. If those boot prints didn't exist, I'll be honest, I'd probably be more towards like, hey, they did something. But the fact is those boot prints do exist, and um,
But the
y-
canine weren't able to do anything with it.
yeah, but canines aren't like perfect either. And um, when did the canines go out there? The boot prints weren't found until the middle of the night. It rained overnight. Uh, it's. I think there's um, where they were at and where they were located. They could have gone much further away from there. I think the other problem is too is I think that the kids got out of that house around 9 a.m. I don't think it was closer to 10. I think there was 9. And although search and rescue were at Eden Lake, not that far away, they didn't get called out till after 10:30 because that's when RCMP arrived, or local law enforcement arrived at about 10:27 a.m. So they're not calling out search and rescue until after that. Now, just because they get the call at 10:30 doesn't mean they're gonna flash get there. They got to load up, pack up, set up, get out of there, show up, figure out a game plan where they're going to go. And there's um, lot that goes on. And according to the dispatch documents, it don't sound like they were out there before 11 a.m. searching. And, from 9 to 11, 2 hours, the boot prints were only 2.5 kilometers away. Well, in enough time for those two kids to get out there. Out here in Arizona, there was a 2-year-old that walked 7.5 miles overnight. Throughout one day and overnight, was found the next morning when I guess like a ranch dog ended up walking this 2-year-old about 2 miles to the ranch house. But he had already walked, I think, like 5 miles unattended through the desert.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and Jack, when he was 2 years old, he left the house.
Right.
And so he has, to me, a little bit of a history there. He got into a junkyard, past the junkyard, into a schoolyard, and was fixing to go into the woods before school personnel stopped him. And so, all those things kind of indicate to me that, yeah, that they wandered off. Now, if somebody wants to argue that, hey, Malaya should have been aware that her kid was willing to wander off and should have, done something more, or Daniel should have done something more. He shouldn't have been doing drugs, and maybe he would have been more aware, and this, that, and the third. I can't argue with that one bit, not at all. But nefarious acts, I'm not certain about.
Right. So I'm wondering, going back to the boot prints, I must have been fed wrong information, which isn't, I guess I shouldn't even be surprised because I was given so much wrong information in the beginning. But anyways, besides that, was there any indications if there was quads or any type of vehicles anywhere near the boot prints? Like, is this something that could have happened from changing positions on the back of a quad, or like a cluster of boot prints? Like, could it be them dismounting and changing positions and then getting back on? Or is this them just clearly walking?
I would say that's them more walking, and the reason behind it is because of the investigation that they went into it. Plus, they investigated the boot prints per the court documents between May 3rd and all the way up to May 27th. So they were extensively trying to figure out whose boot prints they were, and nobody's come forward to say, "Hey, we were on that trail. It was ours." And you would assume that if they were on the trail searching, that these are people that care for Lily and Jack and would have been like, hey, those were our boot prints. Don't look there. That's not what it was. It was us. So nobody's come forward. It doesn't appear, based on the information from the documents, that there was any other boot prints. It just says that there was a cluster of boot prints. There were 2 of them. They were children's size, and they were out of the way. And to me, if there was kind of like some of the other stuff that they've disputed, I think they would have come out and said, hey, we think that these were put there by another means. They do leave a possibility because there were some kids searching, but they also, in that same sentence, say, but these prints were way out of the way for 2 kids to be on their own, basically. And so I'm going to try to pull it up so I can get the verbiage word for word. Because of where it is. But yeah, let's see, because I know I have the documents pulled up right here. And I keep them open just in case I ever need them. Here it is. So let me ground search rescue. So it says here, ground search rescue residents. Hold on, that's not it. Here's the analysis of the boot print. It says here that on May 3rd, cast of the located a boot print on the pipe trail. The boot print showed to be a specific number 29 on the thread. She wondered if the number was based on design or size. They went to Walmart and located several sizes of the same boot, so the same boot pattern. And the number consistent with 29 was found only on size 11 boots. Other sizes had different numbers. For example, size 12 showed 30, size 10 showed 27. Malaya had initially said that she thought Lily wore size 12 or 13, which wouldn't be consistent. However, He was able to confirm Malia's purchased Lilly's rainbow boots on March 20th with the SQ number corresponding with a size 11 boot. So that's what matches there. I know it was a little bit before this. I hope it didn't delete what I had. Yeah, it did. All right. So it says here boot prints were found on the pipeline by GSR on Friday night into Saturday morning. There were clumps of them. There were 2 different sizes. She said they were small in size and corresponded to what children would wear. The focus and they're searching that area because of the boot prints. So you had the boot prints, 2 of them sizes cluster together, and then one of them that
I apologize. I had to quickly throw lunch together for Ian. He has to go early. So thought I had another hour, but now I have all night, luckily for you guys. Did Missy finished? Is she finished talking now? Okay. Let's hit chat. See what you guys are talking about. You know what? I think I want to put something else up. Just something else. I apologize. I apologize. I had to do something. Way, and we will talk. We will talk. Talk about everything that we just learned. And I'm not angry anymore, so okay, so here I am talking in chat. Alvin is Janie's brother. Lack of knowledge is appalling for a private investigator. Fuck, she crazy. Like, how a PI didn't know this is astounding. Tammy, that was Christine, right? So Christine Inrig and Chrissy generally got mixed up. Christine Inrig is not a private investigator on this case, and Chrissy is. Chrissy has been retained by Dalene's law firm, but she is working in a pro bono capacity. That was actually one of the things, like I said last night, when the DT show was going on and this started coming out, I was like, oh my God. And I immediately contacted Belinda, and that was my thought. Like, if they had a contact in the RCMP or in major crimes, I would suspect that trust would be alienated. That contact may not be so willing to stop, because I mean, basically all but saying that they've lost evidence and they're not investigating, and so it's, to me, it's a problem. I just listened to DT's live, and the woman who called in said she was working on behalf of Dalene. You're slowly going crazy? Me too. Found YouTube? Sure did, didn't she? And I don't know, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not getting into like this is all based on my opinion of the information and how it was released. I'm not even sure I'm calling it a leak, because we didn't even know that if the RCMP determined if it's related to the case or not. And the fact that the forensics on the blanket haven't been made public yet, it's beyond me why we think that something that was collected 2.5 weeks ago would already be, the results of that would already be given to the public, if not to the lawyer working in a family court matter, and her private investigator, who aren't investigating Jack and Lily's disappearance under the Missing Persons Act in an official capacity. I don't understand where that entitlement is, where we think that we need to push the police on this particular topic. And overall, do some kind of a public release to quell some of the speculation and put to rest some of the ridiculous rumors is a good thing to push the RCMP for. It's a reasonable ask, in my opinion. But why we think that they would release anything like this so quickly, like if at all, it astounds me. And I would think that they would know better. I think I know more about this case than Chrissy. Maybe, I don't know. Why would she, but Lily's boots, that's too small? Maybe because boots are made bigger than actual shoe sizes? And I think they determined those boots were likely bought at Walmart, and it's pretty popular place to buy children's clothing and whatnot. So I would venture to guess that more than just Lily had boots like that. Probably the same size too. So again, the RCMP hasn't been able to say, yeah, those are Lily's boot prints, and somehow they just flew up from the property all the way up to the pipeline because there's no prints in between until that day comes. It's not related to the case, in my opinion. DT into the person of grabbers, I think. Into the person of grabbers, I think. She was working with Daleen as a lawyer. She was working with Daleen, a lawyer, just went to look. Wasn't Daleen talking to DT? What? Language barrier between Canada and US. It's a little funny. What a donkey. Thank you for that. I get mixed up. I think we all do. I've heard both Daleen and Chrissy speak. It's Chrissy. We've determined it's Chrissy, and if you think it was Daleen, just it's okay. You can think it was Daleen all day long. Just shh. Shh. No talking. We don't need to call people names. There are some differences in terminology. I don't know what that word is, Ori. You need to dumb yourself down to be here with me. And I'm not calling people names. I call one person a donkey because I can. He's earned it. I'm saying Malaya took off that night and Daniel didn't know till midnight, and that's why Kat going back and forth. Thing is, did she take the kids with her? I've never once heard anybody say Malaya took off during the night. That's why Kat car going back and forth. Thing is, did she take the kids with her? So you think Malaya left and then Daniel was ripping around looking for her? Is that what you're saying? Interesting. Literally never heard that before. In your opinion, the blueprints were planted, hence Daniel saying they took blue boots for Jack, pink ones for Lily, and not they wore boots. And I mean, it could also be the description of what he believed the kids were wearing. I've already said it's totally possible that the lady that was talking to Janie, who had a child on the back of her quad, maybe the child got sick of waiting and got off the quad and was dancing around just in one spot, hence cluster, and then got back on the quad, which would explain why there's no boot prints leading up to the pipeline from the property. I don't know. I personally think they did wander off. That's why I still search. I don't know what to say. I don't know, but if Chrissy or Daleen, not Daleen, so I believe you, and sure. Daleen is a lawyer, Chrissy is a PI. Those are facts. Absolutely. 100%. Those are facts. What two? First drone was up at 10:38. Good to know. Marie just saying it wasn't Daleen on I still wonder about the sinkholes and abandoned mines. This guy and his wandering off. Oh my God. What if they were dropped off there or left there that night? Where? I hate that he compares this kid in the desert to these two kids that in that absolute disaster of a forest, totally not the same terrain whatsoever. Oops. Interesting that the Sebastian Rogers case is now resurfacing with the cemetery info, Summers case too. Kind of what happens, right? Information starts coming in waves. Um, it, it's sad, but hopefully it leads to something. But it's got a lot to learn. Ooh. I felt the same way you did this morning about what they both did last night on DT. You talking to me? I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand the timing and I don't understand the entitlement. I don't. There's a lot I don't understand on that side of things in that camp, as they like to put it. I'm not in a camp. I am not pro Daniel. I am not pro Malaya. I am not in the cabal. I am not part of the camps. I want to know what happened to Jack and Lily. That's it. That's all I care about. In my opinion, I still think all that stuff looked too clean to have been out there before the group got there and too brightly colored to have been missed by cops, in my opinion. Only I can't make sense out of it. I think so that blanket was found outside of the search area. Did we? We looked, let me, just one sec, might get, let's share my screen again. So we can show, this is basically where the blanket was found. Okay. We go back down. Right here is 1407. Do you see this? So from what I understand, and I could be wrong because I wasn't there, and I don't assume things, but I was told that it's outside of the search area, the original search area, and we know it was outside of Please Bring Me Home's search scope. So it is possible that it was there for longer. And that pink shirt, I mean, it looks like it's summer bleached. It looks like it's sun bleached. Missing 411 often says kids go further than research states. Can I mention other channel? I mean, mention another channel if you want, as long as you're nice about it. Like, you don't need to be raving about other channels in here, but I don't want no, like, insulting other channels in here. Our guide leaders would get tipsy, and when we were not sleeping on time at camp, would march us little kids at all hours of the night to wear us out. Daniel and Malaya don't seem like the type to be that stringent and that strict and that, you know what I mean? They seem more like the type their kids won't go to sleep, just ignore them. Given the wrong info, you're the private investigator, Chrissy, not Facebook people. Yeah, everybody caught that too. Good. Doesn't a PI do their own investigation? She was fed the wrong information. Well, we have to also remember, guys, she's in Alberta. So she's getting her information via internet. I kind of see what he's saying. You have to respect his theory. Don't have to agree with it. I don't. It's all about where the kids are when it comes down to it. Yeah. So Chrissy has read the documents. Wow, that is crazy. TJ's mom does not think the kids wandered into the woods. I think that's where Chrissy is getting her information, Facebook. Notice the way DT doesn't read all the document about the other children. Yeah, I apologize. I apologize. I had to, I already made I'm sorry. I will also be doing drone mapping of the area using AI to inspect the pictures, looking for anything and everything. That's awesome. Hopefully you can share it when you're done. Blue Heron thinks that the boot prints were planted. Children don't vanish without a trace. And they don't vaporize and leave absolutely no boot prints when they're walking off into the wilderness without a trace. Doesn't happen. Blu-ray shoe sizes differ so much, especially on the origin of the country. I find that garments and shoes made in China, I need to upsize from. Yeah, that's true enough. Why would they leak all this information? I'm so pissed off about this. I'm with you. I don't understand what the benefit was. And if it was to push the RCMP to release some information, I don't understand why they chose this. I don't. Instead of joining the rest of us that are trying to pressure them to just even debunk some of the false claims out there and some of the information that is just dead wrong out there. That's what we are entitled to as the public. Truly. We are not entitled to evidentiary information, whether or not something is relevant or related to an investigation. That is not our entitlement to know as the public. It's just not. And like I said, private investigator or not, they're not working in an official capacity investigating Jack and Lily's disappearance. They're doing it privately. They're not representing anybody. Daleen is representing Belinda in the family court matter. Beyond that, I've never been given any information that Belinda has retained Daleen and Chrissy to investigate this missing persons act case. I don't know. Maybe she has, but I've never been told that. So, told Belinda and RCMP that they weren't the type of children to wander off, yet it has been stated this wasn't the first or second time Jack wandered off on her. I just remember in one of Daniel's statements, he said that none of that would have happened if Malaya had never took off that Thursday night. Maybe she took the kids with her. Well, you're going to have to find that because I've never heard that. Look at Matheson Road, ample opportunity to hide a body, Damien, and it was Daniel's last stops, according to Brad's statement. Boot prints in yard isn't really evidence or clues. Well, it's not, but they didn't find any. They found one. A PI needs to be given some information to go by. There would have been a trail of prints to and from, not just a cluster out of nowhere. In your opinion? Same. I'm a bit upset they leaked it and hope they don't leak more. It can kill a case. It depends on what they're leaking. I understand the importance of protecting a source, but if it's truly a witness that's credible witness that the RCMP, that Major Crimes has deemed a credible witness, they need to be protected. They need to be protected. I don't think that's what this is, you guys. I just don't. Selective reading to make himself look better. I heard he has bad eyesight. He relies on documents that are a basic summary for warrants and have no real detailed information. Warrants for paperwork, for bank records, phone records. And I've been saying since they were released, although it has some information in it, those court documents are bullshit and like 1% of the entire investigation. Can't with the turkey guy. Sorry, Rena. Sorry, my bad. This isn't the first time they have done this, believe me. It's about Chrissy's statement, not TT. They're both ruining this case, and cause of their actions, we might never find out what happened to Jack and Lily. Don't say that. We nip it in the butt, okay? I might have ruffled some feathers here today with my opinions. I might have alienated somebody that I considered a friend at one point, but like I said in the beginning, these people wouldn't even be in my universe if it wasn't for our shared common goal, finding out what happened to Jack and Lily. And somewhere along the line, that got lost. And I am staying focused to factual information, to healthy speculation, and questioning everything. And I told somebody today that I do not go down rabbit holes. I will walk up to a rabbit hole and look down, and if it looks too sketchy, I ain't going down there. I'm not doing it. I'm just not. I played that game too long with Delphi, and I came up with a term with the Delphi case, Delphi fatigue, because it's real. You just get to a point where you've looked down so many rabbit holes and you've chased so many red herrings that you don't know what to believe. And I'm not doing it here. I'm sticking to common sense. I'm sticking to the facts that we know. I'm sticking to healthy speculation, like I said, and listening and reading what you guys have to say, reading your emails, interacting with you here, interacting with you on Messenger. Let's talk about it and pressure the police to put to rest some of this bullshit. That, like I said, that's what we're entitled to do. Anything beyond that, evidentiary wise, presumptuous and dangerous. Bye, Anya. Have a great night. It's his birthday today. I went and I got him a Grinch Happy Meal with the socks. And I also bought him a Helly Hansen coat the other day, so he's fine. He made comments back in the beginning, something along the lines of, if she didn't leave that night, nothing would have happened, or this wouldn't have happened. I mean, you just gotta, you gotta find that, because I don't remember that. Just like that live, just like that of yours with Sunny that you broadcast in DT's lives. You need to explain that to me. I don't understand. Just like that of yours with Sunny that you broadcast in DT's lives. Are you talking to me? It's been stated and confirmed one time when she lived at Patty's when he was one, and another time from her apartment. Oh, Jack wandering off. Yeah. Told you they were autistic. Really? Hey, Pictobub. I thought before they said there was also barefoot prints with the others. There was also a diagram. Yeah, they did. They confirmed the print on the bottom of the boot and SKU number connected with the boot. With the boot. Marie got opinions don't mean shit to me. I'd rather facts. Same. But I'm going to tell you my opinion. I love DT. He doesn't put others down or name calls like so many other YouTubers. You talking about me? I agree, Bobby. I truly believe he wants justice for Jack and Lily, unlike some other YouTubers. And if they wandered off and they fell into a mine or whatever, there's no justice for Lily and Jack. It's just recovery and laying them to rest properly. You know, I think the chances of that are like literally slim to none. I don't buy it, not at all. But it's information that we need. It's answers that we need. You know. I was told today by Daleen that the RCMP told a witness they lost evidence. Ask her where the proof is. She couldn't share it. I just think it's a dangerous and foolish game to be playing. You think you hold more cards than the investigators and you're going to, I don't know. None of my business. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. Yesterday in a live, I was told by some user who I believe to be Chrissy that evidence was lost. How would they know? Of course they wouldn't. Of course they wouldn't. It didn't happen. And if it did, I would question that witness because he didn't hear it from the RCMP. I want to know why RCMP didn't search the Larrick area. Same. Me too. I heard that one size fit Lily's size, but the other prints fit Jack's size. Did you hear that? I didn't. You think they're stirring the pot? Confirmed. Purposely. To try to shake some information loose. But like I said, why this information? Why are we trying to shake this particular information loose? We're not entitled to it. No matter what you think you're doing, you're not entitled to evidentiary information. You're not a cop. You're not an investigator. You're not even representing anyone on the case. Just my opinion. Yes, very much so. Thank you for your thoughtful insights. And I know you did another video, and I want to play it. If you guys don't mind, I want to play it. Get her mind out of this bullshit. You're damn right. People can say anything, and they do so on many channels. It's mainly YouTubers who are full of hate and rage. I was very rageful earlier today. Bobby, I caught it by another user chatting with you. All good again. Your opinion matters just as much as any others. Nobody's charging anybody for legal fees. Filing fees are a different thing. Totally different. Totally different. Angus, thanks for being here. I don't know. No. Focus, you guys. This isn't about Belinda, any kind of crowdfunding for Belinda's filing fees. Just like the rest of us, when we do whatever our vocation, our career is, and we do it, even if we're doing it for somebody outside of our employment, We want to be compensated for that. It's our hourly, right? It's our hourly rate or our salary or however you get paid. Daleen is waiving that to create all of the paperwork that needs to be filed for the temporary guardianship case in family court in Nova Scotia. Daleen isn't charging for her time to do that, nor will she be charging for her time to appear in court. There are costs related to file those papers. That's not Daleen charging that. That is the courts charging that. That is what the crowdfunding is being talked about for, but hasn't been asked for yet. So we're not talking about that. Make me laugh sometimes. What I say? What did I say? Did I tell somebody to shush? How do you know the RCMP didn't search Laird Road? Well, it's not in the court documents. Like I said, it's 1% of the case. So I mean, technically, good question, cool. We don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they did. I personally, still to this day, believe that anything that's relevant to the investigation is not in those court documents. That's why the RCMP don't give a shit what's unredacted. And if it is still redacted, it might matter, or it's personal information. It's my comment. I don't know the exact night that Daniel was talking about, but he did in one of the chats make a comment that if she hadn't left whatever night it was, nothing would have happened. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you ever find the screenshot, send it over. People, that was my bad. I was coming up the hall. We have soundproof insulation, so did hear her say who she was. Charmaine always knows. Don't say that. Grid search map. That could be outdated. Could be outdated, just saying. Considering DT is supposed to be ex-law enforcement, his way of thinking is not like any police officer I've ever known. He covers for Daniel and doesn't ask any pertinent questions. Hi, Marky. I believe you may have found a new home. Thanks for being here. Yes, Explorer, I unsubbed might not mean much. From who? Wait, Charmaine, for what? Want me to wait? Didn't Quad Lady just stop to let her child pee? Maybe, but they certainly didn't pee on the quad. Had to get off the quad. Feet would have hit the ground. I'm just saying, common sense. It's where my mind lives. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She sold what? Pictobub. What did she sell? And who? What? RCMP spoke to the bus driver's wife because she did let her boy off to have a pee and put him back on the ATV. RCMP spoke to her 2 or 3 times. Boom. Ron Mexico. It wasn't debunked. Thank you. Thank you. I heard DM said that none of this would have happened if Malaya had not left that Thursday. Are you the one that keeps saying that, or is there somebody else backing you up? Because either way, I'm going to say it one last time, Blue Jay. If you ever find the screenshot, please send it along. If it is somebody else, both of you, then please send it along. I don't remember that, but you know that I'm open to it. Char, I meant DT introduced her as name. She said she worked for Daleen, who is a lawyer, so I believe it wasn't Daleen talking. Boy, I hate writing. Yeah, same. Make what make sense? You're late, and I'm not doing that again. No, she wasn't. If you're talking about Belinda, no, she wasn't. Are you talking about Belinda, Gina? Because no, she wasn't. Never, not once. Never. Didn't happen. I was one of the ones that Belinda came to ask my opinion on whether or not crowdfunding for legal fees, not her attorney fees, for filing fees would be looked upon in a negative light. So no, she never did. Not once. Did Please Bring Me Home search again by Where the Stars by the McClure? I believe so. Seawood, Marie, Damien, Johnny, all y'all that were there. Yes, thank you. Yes. You've also heard that some searchers also brought their children. I did hear there were a couple of people that brought children, but they were told to leave their children behind. So I appreciate a thorough and complete investigation with solid evidence instead of a rush to judgment case that gets tossed out of court. Yeah. I think we're gonna go over and watch Mike's new video. I think actually there's 2. I'm so behind. So it was said there were cars, so yeah, they could have left separately and came back, in my opinion. How would anyone know for sure whose car went by or drove? Blueprint experts know so much about prints. They analyze the gait and the clusters. They know if area around the prints has been swept or disguised, vehicles or adult footprints. They're professionals. Doesn't look anything like blood. Thank y'all. Talking about the sweater, I assume. Hey, Diesel. How would the travel expenses be? So not only does Daleen not get paid because she's working pro bono, she has to take money out of her pocket to fly to Nova Scotia, and then she has to take money out of her pocket to file those court filings? Like, how is that? How does how does any of that? I don't understand your way of thinking. Like, if I was gonna do work, say for one of my clients who wanted me to do something, I'm like, "Oh, you know what? I'm not gonna charge you my hourly, but it's gonna cost me money out of my pocket to finish or to submit that paperwork to the government. I ain't paying for that. You still pay for that. I just don't want charge you my hourly." That doesn't I don't understand where you're coming from. I just looked at the ground search and rescue map of their search, and where that was found was part of the original search. Was it? Good to know. I had fish sticks for supper last night. I was thinking maybe Daniel was pissed off with Malaya and took it out on the kids. Think he locked them out for the night, and by the time he bothered to look, they may have succumbed to the elements. But the HRD dogs would have hit on decomposition. But never know. The search drones went up at 10:48 a.m. from the RCMP camp. Maybe they caught Elvin and Jenna coming up out of the ditch with the red T-shirt, and that needs to be looked at and footage. Yeah, I'll call Chrissy and Daleen. I'm sure they'll look into it for you. Boot prints weren't Jack or Lily's. No scent trail around them. Hi, Belinda. Man, I'm glad you're here. The blanket was found outside Please Bring Me Home area. They took pictures and coordinates, but when contacted police, they were not interested. I told my lawyer, and she had the PI to look into it and pick it up. Have it picked up and taken to Stellarton RCM or the detachment in Stellarton. Yes. Thank you for being here, Belinda. That's funny. Did you miss my excuse? I apologize. Thank you for coming a member, Cassie. That's so nice of you. Thank you. That made me feel better. Thank you. Hanky the Christmas Pooh. I have a Hanky the Christmas Pooh Christmas tree decoration. Anyway, I respect law enforcement. So do I. My husband has been in law enforcement for 35 years and he has a very low opinion of DT. I think DT said once he was an officer for 7 years or something. I don't know, but I don't want to talk about it. Private investigate the PI searching is no different than anyone else searching and reporting to YouTube creators. The police really had no interest at first. It's just an interesting find that we have no idea. I agree, and thank you for putting that in such a way that I could never with my attitude today. It's no different than anyone else searching and reporting to YouTube. Correct. Correct. Hi, Belinda. Did you give Chrissy the green light to keep Jack and Lily in the light? It's all good, in my opinion. Okay, see you later. I gave everyone permission to follow their gut and see where it goes. Belinda wants answers, you guys. And yeah, she is entitled to those answers. Did you say something? To protect yourself and the reputation of this channel, we kindly ask that you use "in my opinion." Thanks for the reminder. I should do that. Marky, Belinda, I'm so sorry about what's happening with your beautiful grandbabies. I hope and pray you find them soon. My heart goes with you. It's so nice, Marky. Thank you. Hey, shenanigans. You missed it. I lost it. I did. I was mean. I was nasty. I was outside myself. It is a bit much. It's past me now. This will put pressure on police or it won't. If it belongs to family and it puts pressure there, good. If not, there is no harm. Yeah, I don't think so myself, but I mean, thanks. Not trying to prove or disprove anything with this statement, but it would be possible to walk along the pipeline trail without not leaving a trace. Very little of what I seen was dirt or gravel where you could leave a print. Good to know. Good to know. I love that your chat is respectful and you do your best to stick to facts. We can speculate as we don't know the truth. Right. If we say no speculating allowed, we would have absolutely nothing to talk about, but there's a respectful, responsible way to do it. Boots on the ground means this may happen. Do you want the information? I don't know what information. Your channel, I think an opinion is valid. The rest of us are just kicking back on a couch, hollering, thanks, Shar. Your thoughts are important, as are yours. If I didn't have the feedback, I'd have nothing to talk about. I think I'm almost to the bottom. I do want to watch Mike's video before we go. 2 hours and 14 minutes, not bad. The RCMP will not talk about evidence. They just won't. They might come out and say something's not, related to the case. Might, unless you piss them off. Could this be the one who is saying this stuff about the RCMP losing info not be very damaging to the case? Why are they involved if this is so? I hope the RCMP straighten this out. I think the motive is there. That's why. But I don't know. I don't know. The RCMP are not going to show what, if any, evidence they have. They need to keep some information close to their vest, and Canadian law enforcement keep all of the information close to the vest. They release what they want, when they want, how they want, and they don't give a shit what we think or say. But if we are, I don't think she's trying to create more confusion. No. I think they're literally trying to pressure the police and telling us whether it's relevant or not. And I just don't know where that entitlement comes from, because that's not how things work in Canada ever. But we could say that you could pressure the RCMP to, you could plead with the RCMP to come out and debunk some of this stuff, put some of the speculation and the false narratives to bed. You could say that. And you could fight for that. No harm, no foul there. This relates to the planting of evidence, and Mackenzie found it from an unnamed witness, Sky Painter. I mean, okay. But like I said, if the RCMP deem that to be a credible witness, then we will hear about it. I'm not putting that up, Grant, but is that accurate? What is this lawyer going to do to help Belinda? I don't quite follow. She's done all of the court documents, Bonnie. I'm not here to talk about that. But she's fulfilled her duty as Belinda's representation until there's a court hearing, or like she's done what she's set out to do. It's a non-issue. What are you guys even talking about? RCMP are doing sweet fuck all. You can fool yourselves and think they are doing everything behind the scenes, but they are doing nothing. If we don't find those kids ourselves, they will not be found. Okay. You're absolutely entitled to think that way and believe that. And you probably have good reason to feel that way. That's fine. But I'll be up here while you guys go down your rabbit hole. I'm just going to be talking about stuff that we know. That's all. No disrespect. I think Daniel said if she wouldn't have left was Sunday interview and it was about Saturday night, he was crying about people thinking he had something to do with it. Okay. I don't remember that. Yeah. I mean, I've been hearing about it since like day 5. But then Ron Mexico came in here and said it was debunked, and I was like, well, show me. And she disappeared. There's a blue blanket, bath mat, and the sweater all in pink. It looks like possible blood on bath mat to me, which makes my stomach turn because one of Daniel's many aliases. We don't have presumptive substance test kits here. I don't know what it is. And I'm not jumping to any conclusions. The RCMP or the Major Crimes has it, and I'm sure they're testing it. If need be, because they do have those presumptive tests. It would have taken them 5 minutes to test it to find out if it was human. I don't even know. I can't even think of the right word. And not just blood, secretions, whatever. By the way, when people leak information and if a suspect or suspects get to see this information, they could give them a reason to run. Not just run, come up with a story as to how it got there or what the deal is behind it. Like, you don't put that stuff out and there's reasons for it. Whatever. Each to their own, though. I've said what I believe, my opinion, and that people can be mad at me all they want. But just know I'm just as mad and disappointed as you. I honestly don't care if she continues to, but Charmaine, she actually did on Sunny's show when Sunny asked her if there's anything she need help with from the chat. She cried when she stated needing. She misspoke. That's not it. If you guys are whatever. Sunny's Belinda did ask, she said she could use help to pay for the fees. Filing fees. Fuck. My God, you guys, I just explained it to you. Let's go back to kindergarten now. If you're asked to do something and your buddy doesn't have the money to pay you your regular hourly fee, and you say, okay, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'll do it for you for free. I won't charge you my hourly fee, but this is going to cost me $500 to get it to where it needs to go. You're not going to pay that $500. Crowdsourcing is okay. She's not asking for money to pay for Daleen. Stop. She hasn't even asked for any money yet. Sure is. Filing fees? They can range anywhere from $20 to $400 or more, depending. Yes, guy, thank you so much for doing that. Totally distracted me again. Yeah, it's getting stupid. Let's go to our voice of reason and calm. Let's watch a little bit of Mike. And then we'll end it because this is just creating more problems than it's worth. I don't want to be, you know, sidetracked about bullshit that doesn't matter instead of Jack and Lily. So, all the way down to the bottom. If you said anything else and arguing and stuff, I don't want to hear it. It's done. It's over with. And hide current comment. I'm gonna pull this off so I can make sure I shared the audio. Okay. I'm gonna mute myself and Are you serious? There's no sound. Making my way down chat and there's no friggin' sound. I did this already. Oh, for Pete's sake. I removed it. I did this. I did it before I went up. I don't understand, you guys. Ugh. That's why I don't like being behind in chat. I apologize. That was 2 minutes you'll never get back. I'm so sorry. Ugh. What a day. Let's go.
Okay, thinking about Jack and Lily again, and this is the delayed viewing of the Middle River Road, and it's about 10 kilometers long. That's about 6.25 miles. And I started on the southern end and working my way north. So that's about 1,000 images, and that's about 2,000 stops to look, as in looking to the west on the way up and looking towards the east on the way back down. And there was a few unusual things to see, and I'll just document them now on the map time, and see how we get on with that. Okay, we can continue on. Okay, so we're starting at the southern end of the Middle River Road, and it's just at the junction of Concord Road. This is a bit of a display of the way I search. Literally just taking the 10-meter steps of the Google car and looking. And if I see something, I'll delay and try and work out what it is. See, there's a signpost for Concord Road as such. And just viewing. And it's a tedious process. I won't subject you to 2,000 stops. Probably only going to be about 50 here. This kind of thing would interest me, as in a way in to the forestry. And on the right hand side is the overview of it. But the overview is at least a year and a half old, so it has very little relevance to the missing children. Only it just shows the area that the street view can't see. This is the gas pipeline. This area was kept tidy, had a good roadway beside it, as in any vehicle could drive down there. It wasn't grown up as much, we'll say, as around Lansdowne Road. See, it's kept fairly well. And both sides of that road, as you can see on the right hand side, they have access to other trails right off the gas pipeline. Yeah. So easy access off the roads. I'll continue on up another bit. That's just me trying to zoom in on a sign. It's just a sign for the gas pipeline. It's a good few days since I took this footage, so the memory isn't great. Some things did interest me, as in you can see deep into the kind of wood there. And there seems to be debris, as in there could be another sign that's blew down off maybe a tree. Stuff like that would cause me to stop and look and see, as in be thinking pink boots the whole time and blue boots and strawberry backpack and any children's clothes, stuff like that, anything. As you can see all the way along, no trespassing signs. The Middle River isn't far behind them. It's only like a couple of 100 meters in most areas here. Oh yeah, it looks like a marker ribbon. It's just tied there on a branch. That took my interest as well. Yeah, just there on that bright branch, just a pink ribbon just hanging down. For whatever reason, it could be to do with that broken tree, something like that. But yeah, and you can see a long way in some places along the road, just the way the sun and the light and that. Good view. Continuing on up, another kind of an entrance, no barrier. Just trying to see what's behind, get the overview again, see what's behind. The likes of that, there's no barrier, and on the right hand side you can see it goes in and opens up into a T shape. Easy for a vehicle to go in, wouldn't be seen from the road. And then there's literally a small trail, only maybe 100 meters straight to the Middle River of Pictou. Places like that are prime spots for dumping to go on in the area. And there's a lot of signs along the way for no dumping. Moving on again, we're up past Rockland at this stage, and that's actually a marker. For some reason, that's there. See the pink thing and the pink tape. This is about 5 miles from the children's house as the crow flies. I was just trying to see was there anything else because that was of interest. So someone, for some reason, marked that, and I could see that it was trampled a bit. So someone went in there because the flowering, like the vegetation, was trampled down. And in the back, that little silver birch, there's pink tape on it, and further back in the background, you might be able to see another, like little flag, pink flag, reddish pink flag in the background. So someone could have been looking in there, or it's marked for some reason. If it's to do with Jack and Lilly, it's 5 miles from the house. And I think at this stage I had got to the top of the road and I was coming back down. And this is just another forestry entrance with no barrier. And just the overview, you can see it goes in and a long way in, loads of access. That's just beside it there. Loads of access. Well out of sight. Out of sight, out of mind, as they say. Just continue on up. I did delay in places like that to have a look both sides to see was there anything. And the skid marks actually, the skid marks back there on that that trailhead. You might see them there. Moved on again. Of course, all these images are at least 3 months old. They were taken in August, so any tire marks would have been well gone in 3 months. Like rain takes that stuff away very quickly. And I think that's the last of it. That's as far as I could see. Yeah. So that was Middle River Road, 10 kilometers. I've just seen a few interesting things. There's some nice houses along that road. I said I better not include them because it's just leave innocent people to their own, just like Jack and Lilly. Anyway, take care and good luck.
Oh, I think that is just what we needed. Nice, calm, cool, collected Mike. Thank you, Mike. That was really good. And this live has been anything but brilliant, CJ, but thank you for saying that. This was so outside of my comfort zone. I had some big opinions and very heated, not like myself at all. But having said that, I don't know that we came up with any answers. We talked about all of it, and I showed you the things that were talked about, so you knew exactly what you were listening to. I'm sure it'll be everywhere now. I can hear Harley stirring outside the door. He wants to come in and say hi. Just one sec. Oh, it's you? Yeah. Come here. And yeah, he is right here to say hello. Hello, baby. And I think with that, unless you guys have anything else that you want to talk about, we can call it a night and go watch everything else that's going to come out after this. And hopefully it gave a little bit of substance to the words that we heard, other than the stuff that we could not make sense of, and little things that just didn't connect. But at the end of the day, I don't know that the information should have been out. But that's just my opinion. Whatever. And you guys are all entitled to yours. Date for Hampers Live. I don't know. Say the 17th. If I get the money to Nova Scotia for the 15th, and no, what did I say? I don't even know. I would like the money in Nova Scotia for the 15th so that we can have said person get the money out to those food donations. I mean, I don't know. You send me your ideas and what you'd like to see, right? Pictures of the hampers that are built, or pictures of the shopping trip spending the money. I mean, there hasn't been a whole lot of money come in, and I know that turkeys and such are not cheap. So, I don't think it's going to be like humongous, couple $100 maybe, but it all matters. We're going to be able to give families who might not get a turkey dinner. We're going to be able to do that for a couple at least. So I thank everybody for everything that you do, keeping Jack and Lily's names and faces out there. That's all that matters. Keeping factual information going, keeping the conversation going, and working harder. Work smarter, not harder. Yeah, I'm sorry I got heated, but it is what it is. Thank you all for being here, and message me, email me, send me your ideas. PayPal, it's over there, but it's here. E-transfer, whatever you want to do. Thank you so much. I don't know if I'm allowed to say your name, but I got a $30 donation just now. And is there anything new on Darius? Actually, well, CJ, okay, here's my problem. When I get heated and I go off like I did today, I notice a difference in chat. The tone for the chat is set to a different level that we don't really do here, right? And I noticed it throughout, and it seemed to get worse and worse and worse, and I was going along with it, and that's not what we're doing here. So but there is a couple of things that I wanted to show for Darius. So apologize. Give me 1 sec. It's right on my own profile. I shared them a couple of times. Darius's parents actually did those short videos. Won't take long to show them, but they actually did short videos themselves, and super important. So I want to give me a sec. I got to mute myself because I don't want to. Okay. So here is Darius's dad. Wait a sec. Not falling for that again. Last time I did it like that, there was no sound. So look at me learning. Okay, here we go. This here's Darius's dad. So we're gonna listen to what he has to say. Then I'm gonna do the whole thing again for Darius's mom.
Hey, buddy. I miss you. I miss hanging out with you, hugging you, cuddling you, your smile, your laughter, your joking around. Hope you come home. I really miss you. Hey, buddy. I miss you. I miss
And I pull this off stage. And then I gotta do the whole thing again just so you have sound. So I have to stop screen. Then I have to go down to mom. And now reshare it, share screen, make sure there's audio, and add to stage, and mute myself.
Baby, it's mom. Honestly, I'm gonna stop looking for you. Miss you. Love you. I need you home. Your birthday's coming up. If someone has him, please just bring him home. My baby. Love you, Darius. Hey, baby, it's mom. Honestly, I'm gonna stop looking for you. Miss you. Love you. I need you home. Your birthday's coming up. If someone has him, please just bring him home. My baby. Love you, Darius. Hey, baby, it's mom.
So there's his parents, right? So it's good. We can talk about it another time. Again, I have been in contact, and they're, just as feel like they're just as frustrated as I am because they do want to come on, and just scheduling is just a problem. So we will you have info? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I feel for every single person that's looking for Darius and for Jack and Lily and for Dylan. Okay. What did Marky say? Something about the Leafs? Hey, Marky. Thanks for being here. Glad you found me. If Lily and Jack had wandered off, they would have been found by now, so I honestly think that something happened Thursday night and that they are deceased, no longer with us. All right. I appreciate everybody understanding that I too am human and lose my temper sometimes because I have big opinions, and it is what it is. Sorry if I pissed anybody off today. Sorry, not sorry. If it's breaking fucking news, you just told my chat. Now I want to call you and put everybody else on hold. Should I do that? Is it that kind of what's going on? We can all attack Melissa for this later. You need to? I need to call? Oh, for Pete's sake. Okay. Please hold. Was that good for you too? Hmm. All right. So here we have the same picture. There were, obviously, I mean, I have these as well. I chose carefully which picture I was going to share. I wanted to give you guys like the broad view of it. And if you guys want to zoom in, you could zoom in. But now I have been informed that although I didn't, no shade, Melissa, this isn't about you, but I did not ask for permission to do this. Belinda told me to go with my gut. And so I did. And my gut said to share what you're seeing and let you do the zooming in yourself. However, a dear friend of mine just called and made some good points, and I do not mind showing the rest. However, I'm not going to give the same commentary that I got. Again, no offense, AJ. It's there's no proof that this is blood. There's no proof that there are bodily substances or anything of the sort. However, the information is going to be out there after this for everybody to make up their own minds and see what all the other 20,000 investigators have to say about it. Damn, there goes my attitude again. My bad. So here we have the sweater a little bit closer up. Let me get rid of myself, released. I'll zoom in a little bit, just a little bit. Just a little bit. It's about as big as it's gonna get, right? This is the shirt, the sweater, and these are what look like either mud or some kind of dried brown substance. Questionable, no idea. Again, questionable, no idea. But once I put these out, you guys are, you have access to it to go back and look. And like I said, Justin will probably grab it, have a look. We have no idea. Yes, ma'am. Whose sweater? No, no idea. No idea. Not a clue. Not even a single clue. Nada. So, okay. And on the bath mat, yeah, you bet. There's also, there's something on the bath mat. Not trying to say there's nothing there. And this could very well be what it looks like. It could be. But I mean, the fact is, shit, I don't know. That's the fact. And that's a really good point. Just the facts. When I first saw it, I zoomed in on like the cuffs and the collar, and it looked to me to be barely worn. And I'll tell you, we searched everywhere for anybody wearing a shirt like that, anywhere. And then we searched everywhere to find like a similar shirt to buy. And it's very much women's fashion, obviously, but it's not like a sweatshirt. It's a nice top. It's like it would be like this kind of thing, it's whatever. You get what I'm saying. But I will put that up. But I was trying to get to this bath mat again. But up top there in the corner of the bath mat, questionable. It absolutely is questionable. So there it is. Yeah, I don't know. Like what you see is what you get. Seawood. It was unfolded with a stick and photographed and called in. And I know that um, Please Bring Me Home did take the coordinates. I can, agree that the police were not interested in collecting it, but Major Crimes was after the fact. And Chrissy's boots on the ground person went and got it and delivered it to them. That did happen, and it is in police evidence now. That's all we know. But this is what it is. It's not a blood-soaked sweater wrapped in a blanket. That stuff wasn't outside for months. It's fair enough. It just wasn't. And it's not a halter top sweater. You can see it's got long sleeves on it, or like maybe 3/4 sleeves. Anyways, if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me. Like I said, somebody else will be going live with it right away. I have absolutely no doubt. And yeah, go back, listen to DT again. Try to make sense of that story about the witnesses, and we will reconvene hopefully tomorrow. And yeah. Anyways, you guys, it's 3 hours. I'm gonna call it a day, and I'm gonna go watch the other content, and I'm gonna take all the shit and abuse that's probably coming my way. So have a wonderful night, and be kind to each other. Bye.
We're going down. We're going down. We're going down the rabbit hole where it stops. No